Let's crack it open, baby. We about to talk about what? Jada Smith?
Jada,
Smith,
bro.
Dude?
Speaking of silly.
Speaking of communist.
Speaking of Cat, because she played Catwoman. That was Halle Berry.
Yeah, it was. Dog, Jada's wildin'. I think most people agree with that, but I think it's worse than that. I think it's deeper than that. I think if we want to talk, you hear toxic masculinity floating around all the time, you know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about a clear example of what toxic femininity would look like, it's somebody who exploits the gossip and reputation destruction of their husband for money. Memoir, podcast, red table talk. You know what I'm saying?
You don't feel like you need the whole picture
constantly
to make this opinion?
No. Here's why. Because there's public and private, okay? Will Smith might be doing something in the background, like, that could be handled in private. Will Smith is not, now Will Smith did do the thing, the slap, but also he was like put down for that as well. Like, and he lost movie roles because of that, and but I think that she's been doing this for so long. And then there's been other examples. Like, you remember that video? It was like a video of her filming Will, and he was like, yo, like, you can't just record
like, this is my
me.
job. Don't film me in my house.
Yeah, like, exactly. And she was like, oh, he gets upset whenever. And it's
that was a private video.
That was a private video that she put out there.
Showed her character.
That showed her character. I just think, bro. First of all, I just think the whole memoir where you're telling private secrets of a past relationship for money and clout is so gross.
Wait, what? So what all is she doing? I'm confused.
First things first, her and Tupac were in love, right? That's where it all starts. That's where everything started. This idea that Jada was such good friends, and she's mentioned it so much on the Red Table and other interviews, that her and Tupac were very close, and they had such a brotherly, sisterly relationship, very sibling-like. And
super sibling.
But some of the pictures you see, and obviously Tupac was a very charismatic guy. He was also very famous, had a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
And it's just like she, a lot of people feel like it was more than that. But she always claims it wasn't sexual, it wasn't boyfriend girlfriend vibes essentially. But she, she always posts, and ever since his death, talking about she wishes he was still here, like she misses him a lot. And the internet gets behind all that and speculates that they had a relationship, or like they wanted a relationship and it never happened, and that it was a man cut too soon in a relationship that never happened, never came to. And Will Smith was like the backup dude, essentially, right? And I think that kind of built over time, and it's unfortunate because, the truth of the matter is the evidence is they actually never dated. That we're just speculating at that point, but it does look kind of odd.
She did just come out and say that he asked her to marry.
Did she? Is that new news?
That was like one of the things that.
And she denied him?
He was in prison when she did that.
Oh, got you.
And she says that she believes it's because he was just in a kind of a low spot and whatever. And I think that could be fair.
Well, it's funny because I think it starts there, and then obviously they had this a long time ago. I don't know if people remember this, but I remember when I was little, and I think in high school or middle school or something, my dad was telling me about, or I heard on the news about the Will Smith and Jada decided to be open. So that set the precedent for how weird they were already.
Yes.
They're like, we're in an open relationship. We can go be with other people. And so there's this whole thing, and then she creates the Red Table, and then they're having these very open, honest conversations with her daughter, weirdly, Willow. And, we finally get to 2 years ago, I think now, where she says this conversation about August, this relationship that she had with one of her son Jaden's friends, and she just wanted to feel loved again. I just wanted to feel good again. I felt bad for so long.
Yeah.
I just wanted to feel good again. Like, dang, bro, if my wife said that, I'd be like,
yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And essentially, they had an affair. And at the same time, Will's working on his book. He's working on his book. He's the biggest star, one of the biggest stars in the world, if not the biggest star in the world, bro. Every movie he puts out makes millions and millions of dollars, right? Yeah. And put out the book about him being in his family or his dad being abusive and him not stepping in to help, and always feeling like he had to work extra hard to overcome that feeling of not taking action in that moment, in multiple moments throughout his life. And then we get to the big moment, Oscars. Chris Rock just a couple years before, or I think 4 or 5 years before that, they had the whole like boycott the Oscars. Oscars so white. Chris Rock goes out on stage at that. He's the only black guy apparently. Well, there's multiple black people, but he goes out on stage and makes fun of it a lot. He even has that joke where he's like, me boycotting the Oscars is like he's like, Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. No one wanted to do there. And like, that was the whole joke. And so like, there's this whole thing where they had kind of beef for a minute, right? And yeah, so we fast forward and he's at the Oscars and he makes fun of, we all know the story.
Yeah.
Makes fun of Jada's alopecia, whatever that disease is called, alopecia. And Will Smith smacks him, anime slap. Well, I will say, Dana White might have to bring him on because
slap competition, baby.
Yeah, bro, he followed through.
Actually, though, no, Slick though, no, he shouldn't because he smacked that man clean and unexpected, and Chris Rock just ate that. Bro. And it was just like, what the hell?
Anyways, all that to say, this is a long story. We all. There's some little details maybe not everybody's hip to that I want to kind of bring light to, but we all know what happened. Now, what are we seeing? All this freaking news stuff about her she didn't condone the slap, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But now she's like,
she said I was so confused that it was like he said my wife, we haven't been together for 7 years. So what is your position on, I guess, Jada's behavior? Because like I think I said my piece at the beginning.
Yeah, sure.
I really feel like there's an exploitation of like a private matter for public gain and exposure and reputation destruction of Will. I feel like there's a difference between I mean, look, dude, I'll say this. Anything happened in my relationship or anything happened in your relationship, you would handle it on a one-on-one basis. You wouldn't go and write a tell-all book and be like, yo, let me tell you all the horrible things my ex-wife did.
Yeah, no.
Like it just to capitalize on the that's the extra added part. Like that's the, you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you because I feel like this is Jada finally grabbing the control.
Yeah.
That's why the information, I'm like, oh, like it's easy for her to like now because I can just eat this man alive.
Yep.
The world's against him, apparently.
Yeah.
And whenever they're against her, she had an interview where she was talking about, well, it's like, she has the power, like evil Jada. This is her quote. She's like, evil Jada, she has the power to roll her eyes and then her husband slaps. She goes, I didn't do it, he did it. And like, like pretty much saying like, you're trying to demonize a woman for just being a woman. And anyways, I think
Jada, we're trying to demonize you for really, really poor, distasteful behavior towards someone that you loved or loved. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with like we put Will Smith down for slapping someone in an unprofessional way on national television. We put him down pretty good. You know what I'm saying? This is like
he wasn't right for that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think Jada Smith. I think that I just really would. I hope Will Smith just files for divorce,
moves on.
I hope he has a level up like Robert Downey Jr. had a level up.
Yeah. Where
it's just like he comes out on top of this. He's already apologized. He seems like a real genuine person. He seems like he's very likable. How do you have a track record? I mean, it took it took like 30, 40 years before we ever had a Will Smith slip up. We're talking early in his career. He was Fresh Prince. He's making music, had a show, all these movies, and he had a slip up. And even that slip up was associated with Jada.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's hard for me to believe that he just really is behind closed doors. He's really just a menace or something.
Yeah.
I really feel like Will is a genuine guy, and I'm sure there's some weirdness going on.
Yeah. I'm sure that is the case, but then
maybe he did sleep with Margot Robbie. I don't know. I heard some weird stuff like that. They did that movie together. He clapped, but it's like
I haven't heard Will Smith publicly degrade
his wife. Which is bro. Let's speak on that for a second because I respect that a lot, despite all the commentary.
I do, and but again, it's so messy. It's so messy, and I feel like yo, just handle that and just move on. Like y'all are so wrapped up in just like also, the other thing with Jada is like it feels so attention seeking and self-aggrandizing and narcissistic. Like when she would do the Red Table Talks, it was like I'm gonna be vulnerable and powerful and this and that, and it's like dude, like not everything revolves around you, but it's like she wants to stay in the circle, and that also goes along with the money thing. It's like all of this is like for own personal gain. You'll do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Jada corny.
Yeah.
She's mad corny for what she's doing, bro. She like thinks she's on. It's even worse because she thinks she's on the good side of it.
That's narcissism, bro.
Yeah, baby, need top 5 when I'm done going mental. Yeah, I'm locked in. You can peep my condition in the lab all winter, all summer. I went dumb, now I'm about to